I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming out and hearing me speak today. The topic that influences everything that we do, I'm going to cover in this presentation. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to make you more aware of how it impacts you. So we're going to guess what this is. If you said kryptonite, you're a little close to what it is. But guess what? It's lead. And we have a long-standing history with lead, going back to the Roman Empire. Within that, the Latin term is plumbum. And we used it for plumbing systems that was established for the sewer and management aspect of it within that time frame. As we progressed throughout the centuries, we found other ways to actually use lead. We use it in toys, in pottery. So just imagine cooking lead and ingesting it. Now, lead is bad. It's very bad. So we must identify the various ways that we are being impacted. In certain communities, they actually breathe it in on a daily basis. And guess what? If you're drinking any type of water out of the faucet, there may be a small trace of lead that you may be ingesting. And guess what? It affects you, it affects me, it affects our children, our dogs, our cats. We must be fully aware of what our race is being susceptible to. Now, we can see you got this great worker right here. She's working at the lead smelter. And then you have big industrial facilities like Doe Run in Herculaneum, Missouri. But guess what? The United States, we're on board. We've actually demolished many of those sites. However, it still affects everyone else on the global front. With the 7.5 billion of us, there's some other places that are using lead as far as their commerce. If we look at Mexico, they did a study, and it was found between the ages of 0 to 15 years old that there were strong levels of lead. If we move over, Yugoslavia, women are being impacted. That's affecting their pregnancy cycles. We go even further to China. The Chinese people are actually ingesting it on a daily basis. Now, we know that we love water. We can't live without it. By the various types of chemicals that are existent, lead is detrimental to our health. It can affect us in our stomachs, it can affect us in our skeletal structures, and so forth. We see our kids are playing. Well, guess what? They go on the playground, and they're playing all day, and it's a possibility they may be contaminated with lead because lead smelters, especially in our country, even though they're inactive, they're still giving off lead presence within the community. So those children are bringing lead back to their families. We have the lead paint. Now I will say, I have been guilty and ingested a chip or two back in my day. But I tell you this, the United States is on board with eliminating all types of lead-based issues within our nation. And then obviously breathing it in. As I mentioned, it affects all of us. We're a country, we're united. But we also need to focus on the international global front as well to combat lead poisoning within many different countries. So this is what I propose. In our nation, I say we go ahead and initiate a program to help minimize lead poisoning in our water. As we all know, the circumstance that happened in Flint, Michigan, many of those individuals have been impacted and can't even consume their water. So as a way to be cost effective and also help those in need, I say, let's go ahead and install carbon filters within their actual plumbing systems. This is gonna save us a bunch of time, and we're not gonna have to erect any old plumbing. Now, mortality is still understudied within the realm of lead poisoning, especially in the US, especially with how high of industry lead smelter production was. So I suggest we actually form a partnership between the EPA, the CDC, and the American Cancer Society to really find out what cancers are prevalent within our society because of lead exposure. Because within that, we can aim on an international front and talk to the UN to help all the other countries join us in our efforts. And then, last but not least, let's get rid of the inactive lead smelters. There are currently 200 inactive lead smelters in our nation. And guess what? They're contaminating local communities, farms, churches, schools. We must demolish this because they are causing toxicity to those around us. And we must be our brother's keeper. Now, just remember, lead is dead. If we get rid of it, we can move on to more important environmental issues to help make us a better humanity. Thank you.